I didn't come all the way. I came in motorsports just to kiss few girls, sign few autographs, and get some glory. I mean, I did it for the passion of being behind the steering wheel of a race car, and it's actually difficult to explain in details the emotions I feel when I'm driving my machine. But after 4 years, I haven't been involved into any sort of motorsports because I was pretty much busy with my activity or paracyclist. This opportunity comes at the perfect time, and the possibility to be again in the BMW family as a driver, not just as a fan or as a partner, it's great, and I hope that down the road we can live again some great weekends. It would be fantastic to keep the streak I originated 2 years ago around here with my end cycle, but I know that it's going to be difficult. Though I want to go home with some with some championship points. This for sure. I want to finish in the top 10 and possibly try to improve my position, especially in race 2. A little higher than in the low 10. But again, this is right now more a dream than a real objective. I will have to wait free practice 1 to really establish where we are in terms of performance in comparison to the others. It's a fantastic place, beautiful around here, and even if I won't have a great weekend as far as result, which I certainly hope is not going to be the case, still will be fantastic for me to be around here, and I look forward to come back again in the future. I certainly know that it's hilly, because when you have 500 horsepower under your trunk, you don't notice the hills. But when you crank your own end cycle, you realize how hard it is to climb the little hills you have around in the circuit. But no, it will not be an advantage. But psychologically speaking, it's like saying the odds are more in favor in relationship to other places. When I decided to come back to motorsports after my accident, it took some courage also from BMW, to be next to me, because had I had an accident, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people ready and prepared to say, hey, why did you allow that crazy guy to do that? It was clear that that was going to be the case, that was going to happen. In fact, they fought next to me to allow the guy with no legs to display again his ability, to the best of his ability, in order to at least collect the best possible result. And we were all winners when in Oschersleben 2005 I ended up winning the race, but there were days prior to that moment where a lot of people were prepared to criticize because they didn't think that that type of result was possible. So to leave all that together with all my friends at BMW and to be able today to represent them all as an ambassador, again, is a great reason of pride, not just because BMW is a great company, but it's because BMW is my family. I'm here doing the things I love, and so that's why I'm joyful. That's why I approach what I do with a lot of enthusiasm, because the opportunity will not come back. And there's nothing wrong in through your life having to change, having to do different things because you are no longer capable of doing what you were doing before. But until I am capable, why should I not drive such a beautiful machine like the BMW Z4? Are you kidding me? Now, just to explain to the ones who do not know, I have a dumbbell amputation, both above the knee. So it really means that my leg finishes here. As a matter of fact, you can see it, because I'm wearing a special cover for driving my race car, which is very minimal, so you can see where my legs is amputated. And basically, just pressing down with my hip, as so, and thanks to this sort of a second shoes, which traps my prosthetical foot in it the entire time, I basically generate the pressure it takes to slow the car down. So I'm using the standard system common as all the drivers, and I'm capable of putting up to 100 kilos of pressure onto that brake pedal in order to produce the pressure it takes to slow the machine down, which is quite remarkable. As far as the steering wheel, you can see that my steering wheel is quite particular, quite complicated. I have this big ring underneath, which serves me to power the car. As so, I can use both hands, whether my left or my right, but I tend to use mainly my left hand, because with my right hand I shift gear. Pulling this lever here, I upshift, and pressing with my tongue the same lever in the opposite direction allows me to downshift. This little butterfly I have here allows me to operate the clutch mechanism, which luckily is needed only to start out of the pit lane and in the pit stops. So of course I do not drive the entire time with the steering wheel like this. I can fix it in this position, and all the other buttons are pretty much standard equipment of the BMW Z4 GT3 car. Well, it's a very sexy, tiny little machine. I love it. Personally, I love it. The handling of the car is beautiful. It gives you a lot of feel. The tires are very fat, big tires, and the engine is very powerful. My teammates are very talented kids. They're very fast. But after 4 years, I haven't been in a race car, and in spite of my personal problems, I was at least as fast as them in qualifying in race 1, in race 2. Actually, if you really want to be precise, I actually outperformed them marginally, but that for me was big boost, you know. I said to myself, hey, you know, the day that we fix the car and we get the performance together, I may not be that far away from maybe winning a race again. Was one of the toughest things I did on wheels.
Yeah?
Yes, either 3 or 4. This was one of the toughest things I did on on wheels. It's funny because I hate number 17.
Yeah?
In Italy is the unlucky number. I like number 13, but I hate 17.
Perhaps you have to rethink that now.
But I guess at 47 years of age, it's about time to get rid of these type of superstitions.
I think so.
Too sweet. I'm gonna pick, I have to stay away from Brands Hatch because I'm gonna pick diabetes if I keep coming here. It's just too sweet to be here, too sweet what happens every time. Too sweet the fans, they're as warm with me as Italians, to a certain degree even more, because they're much more polite than Italians. Not to be rude with Italians, you know, it's a plus and minus sort of thing for Italians, you know, they're very hot, but the British are just fantastic people, and they're so warm with me, so enthusiastic, probably so touched with my history, which from my point of view, who is the guy who lived the story day by day, there's nothing magical, there's nothing mystic in it, you know, but evidently their eyes, they tend to catch different things, and I can only raise my hat and say thank you guys. Nick zu Bransden.